Are we cute? I never really look at myself before I hit play. Hey y'all, we are what we are. I just thought this would be kind of an interesting and cute video to do, kind of like behind the scenes of what was really going on during some of the photos on my Instagram, just what was going on in my life or like that day. I wish I had like the outtake photos too, but I don't hold on to those. We delete all photos that don't make it to the gram. I made a post the other day just about like, you never really know what's going on in someone's life. So like, just remember that Instagram is not real life. You know, it's a highlight reel, but it's not real. First one I have is this modeling photo that I'm like, you know, slaying. I think I might have an outtake from this. If I do, I'll pop it up. But that water was freezing cold, and we also did this take like so many times, y'all. Like, so I was like, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. He had this vision, the photographer, for it to look like this, and we did it so many times, and I kept getting water in my eye, and I kept closing my eyes, and it was so cold, and he was like splashing this water on me and hitting the shutter, and I could tell he was getting like flustered, and I was just like, I can't do it. We finally got the shot, but just know that that took a long time. Who is this girl though, really? Like, who is that? This was taken in North Philly. My friend Marissa, shout out to Riss, hey girl, hey. She is the best photographer. Like, she's that friend that will get on the ground to get your angle. So, like, it looks like it was such a poppin' night, and like I'm like out here and like she's here. But we went to some like dive bar in North Philly, and like it was cool. It wasn't like a bad night, but like this was a flex on the gram, and it really wasn't all of that. I think this was the first picture of mine to hit 1,000 likes also, which like, who cares? I just thought it was so funny because I'm like, wow, like I hope y'all really didn't think I was out here like really popping this night. Those aren't my shoes, those are Marissa's. I don't even think those hoops are mine. I think those are Marissa's. I got that dress, I think that day, from like one of those little Ghetto Fabulous stores. One of those little Ghetto Fabulous stores in the mall. I had like the tape right here trying to like hold everything in, and the tape wasn't really working, and just know that like it wasn't that popping up. Oh gosh, this one. Okay, now we're getting into like what was really going on in your life. This was taken in Savannah by an ex-boyfriend. We were recovering from like a very bad chapter in our relationship. We were kind of going through things, and this was kind of our trip to like save things. And I was dealing with a lot of insecurity during this trip. My dog just scared me. So yeah, it's just really interesting to see me like smiling and like traveling, and it's just like, yeah, I was not really as peachy as it probably looks. I was very insecure at this time. Oh my gosh, so this is in Iceland. I think like seconds after this photo was taken, started to hail. Like, hail. Okay, not like, oh, a little bit, hail. Weather in Iceland is absolutely insane. They say if you don't like it, wait 5 minutes because it just changes so rapidly. But it was freezing also when I took this picture, like freezing cold. Denver, we went on our first solo trip to Denver. So shout out to Kayla if you're watching this. My friend Kayla had taken this picture. So during this time, I was, what is this hair back here doing? I remember I was so scared to go on this trip, for one. I remember I almost didn't go. I like drove myself to the airport, you know, into the Self Park, and I was like, what am I doing? Why am I going? Like, I'm scared. Like, I don't know anybody in Denver. Like, and I was just going for the weekend, like literally 2 nights. I got like a room in an Airbnb. I remember during this time feeling pretty like alone. And I do this thing when I'm, well, I used to, I don't really do this anymore, but when I'm alone, I like get, like when I feel alone, I like isolate even more. Not the healthiest coping mechanism, but it was like ironic because I went on this solo trip, made friends with Kayla, met this cute dude, nothing happened, but you know, met a cute guy, and like was just like talking to people more than I expected to be. Like, I thought I was gonna go like just to some city I didn't know and isolate myself for the weekend, and it was actually total opposite. So I don't know, all that to say, I was going through a pretty like uncomfortable transition, as they usually are, and by the time that that picture was taken, I was like, oh, okay, like I'm not alone. I don't have to be alone. Ooh, okay, this was my 25th birthday. I had literally 2 days before this had a breakup, but we were like, for my birthday we still had already made plans, so we still did them. because it was like a mutual breakup. It wasn't like a, anyway, was this before this or after? I think right after this we went to dinner and we were both just crying at the dinner table. We both like knew it was over, but like, you know, we're gonna miss all the good times kind of thing. We were just sitting there like, I'll have a salad. Like, we're just crying at the dinner table. And I just think it's funny because I just look like this like cool Instagram girl here. This is when I was like fashion girl on Instagram. Shout out to Audra, hey girl. I only put this in here because I just think it's funny. Like, I think I had like 3 huge smoothies before we took this, and I was sucking it in so hard. I was so full. I really wanted to take pictures, but I was like, man, I am very insecure about my body right now. Like, I just, you know, if you just ate and you're in a bikini, you're like, I don't really feel photo ready. But I had like 3 big ass smoothies, and I mean like big ass smoothies, y'all. Like, and during this time, it's just kind of like reminded me of, I was actually going through a kind of a lot of like body image stuff. And this is when like fasting, and I've touched on it a little bit, but like fasting and like body image and eating disorders and like binge eating and all of that was kind of like happening. It's one of those things like you would probably not know that that was going on, but I was having a lot of like time spent in the mirror and not happy with my body and like just wanting perfection out of my body. Okay, this picture got like a lot of attention and I was so nervous. So this was like a public campground, but I was the only person that, you know, camped out the night before. But like at any moment the owners could have come. So I was like butt naked and so nervous and like running back and forth from the camera to my van, from the camera to my van, and it was like I was sweating. It was like a whole thing. And like I said, I just was so nervous that somebody was gonna come, and I like, what am I gonna say? And this was my first night camping in the van, like camping and by myself. I had gone camping in it with other people and stuff, but like solo, dolo, in nature. Every time I see this picture on my Instagram, I laugh and I think about taking it down, and maybe one day I will, but like I had such an attitude. The partner at the time took it, and that's a whole long story that I probably don't even remember most of the details, but we were beefing, needless to say, and I was like not ready to express why I was mad yet, so I was like still kind of like sitting in all my feelings and like trying to like communicate properly and all that shit. And I just remember like the sun was going and I had just gotten this little vest, and I was like, I really want a picture right now though. But like we were clearly not on like a good page, and it was just so funny to be like, can you take my picture? I had such an attitude, and like he did too, and you know, he got the picture, but it was a lot of tude before and after this photo. It's just so funny to like look at and tell you guys, because I'm like, no one would know that, but that's what was happening. This day, this was like right after I had gotten my locks for one. My friend Viper took this, shout out to Vipe. This is when I was like first like in my van. I remember just really wanting to get out of the city. This was like at a state park a little bit outside of Atlanta. Oh my God, this day was so good. Viper and I just sat by the water and talked and just listened to music and just chilled all day. Like we didn't even eat anything. I think we had bought some juice. I remember driving back into the city and just being so like, oh, city. This was one of the first times that I was like, I am ready to like say fuck it and live in a van. So this was, I think, maybe the second time that I camped alone, and this one was like a little further away, and I was so scared. I was terrified. First of all, this was in like a campground. It was totally safe. There was like cameras. Everything was fine. It started pouring and thundering and lightning and all this stuff at night, and I just remember thinking of the worst case scenarios. I was like, a killer is gonna open up my back doors while I'm sleeping and kill me. Like, this is going to happen. Like, I was so paranoid. I was so scared. And it's just funny that I like put it up on Instagram as this like romantic getaway party of one, and I remember just like, I don't know, you know, it just seemed like all beautiful. But your girl was terrified at night, especially when it started storming. So here's one from kind of recent. This was taken in my brother's pickup truck that broke down hours later, stuck, and he had to get a friend to come get us, and it was like a whole evening. And honestly, during this time, and I'm still kind of in this time, but we're like better than we were when I took this photo. I remember a big thing was this was like the first day in a really long, like in my world, like a month or maybe more, long time since I like got cute and like cared about what I look like. It was like up in the mountains and like no point to really get cute, off-grid style kind of living. I just like kind of, like I said, was going through some stuff and just didn't care about my appearance. And I remember this was the first day that I like gave a fuck about what I look like. And hopefully you guys like this video. I know this is kind of like not my normal content, but I just kind of feel like it just shows the realness of what's really going on. Like even right now as I'm making this video, everybody on my Patreon knows, like I just recently uploaded a Vancast that's called I'm Not Okay, and that's okay. Cause like, yeah, y'all, I'm going through some stuff, I'm growing through it at the same time. So I just wanted to share this again to remind you that like you really truly don't know what's going on behind the camera. So don't ever assume. It's so easy to get caught up in this fake reality on our screens. It's so easy, in comparison and all this stuff. But like I just told y'all like the tip of the iceberg of my Instagram. Like I'm sure if we went through all of them, there was some behind the scenes story of that day or that time in my life that like no one knows. All right, y'all, I'm in a chatty mood, so I'm gonna stop and I will see you in the next one. Peace and love.